Hi my friends, Coach Tom here, kids.iplaytennis.com. I may actually put this on the adult side as well because some of us on the adult side don't know how to keep score either. And that's what we're doing today. We're learning how to keep score. All right, so keeping score, it's a little bit wonky based on how we do it in tennis, but the easiest way to think about it is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? Every game that we play is gonna be 4 points. Now we're not including deuce and add. Don't worry about any of that stuff yet. We'll do that in a separate video, okay? But each game is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 points. The first to win, 4 points. Now before we get going, let's real quickly just kind of talk about this. You have points, right? You play points in order to get games. You play games in order to get sets. And you play sets in order to win, you guessed it, matches. Not the kind that light fires, okay? So points to get games, games to get sets, sets to get matches. That's the big thing. And what these are over here, these are points. Now, we're going to start off again with just kind of using a 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 thing, right? Traditional tennis scoring is over here, regular scoring here, and 0 is going to be equal to love. Your first point is going to be equal to 15, your second point 30, your third point 40. I know it probably should be 45 because, you know, 15, 30, 45, but it's not, it's 40. And the fourth point is game. Okay, so 15, 30, 40, game. Those are your 4 points, 1, 2, 3, 4. A lot of times with the younger players, we'll simply do the 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll just give them the option to count by ones. All right, so let's get this out of here real quickly. And we're going to talk about how to actually play a single game, just one game, all right? And what you've got the Deuce Court, Deuce, D-E-U-C-E, and that's going to be this cross court section right here, right? There's the center line that goes down the middle. So deuce, deuce, it goes diagonally. And then the other side over here is add or advantage, and that would be going this way, okay? So advantage on this side, deuce on this side. You're always going to start every single game that you play on the deuce side. So every time you get out there and it's 0 to 0, love, love, you're going to start on the deuce side. And there's the little hash mark right here and the center line to kind of help you guide that along. Anyway, all right, so let's pretend we're playing a game here, right? So you and I, we're playing a game. We're going to start on which side? Right, we're going to start over here on the deuce side, okay? Now, if you're playing singles, make sure that you're not going past that line. That's called a fault. Can't do that. If you're playing doubles, you can't move out past that line in order to serve. Generally speaking, I try to stay somewhere around here or closer, okay? So that's your server, we'll put a little S in there, and your returner is going to be back over here to return the ball. Remember, the serves have to go cross court into the opposite service box, so it doesn't do this guy any good to stand over here or in the middle or anything like that. I have to serve across into this box, so that's your starting position for return. Okay, so I'm the server, you're the returner. I serve the ball in, we play a point out. We're going to assume we already know how to play points. We're just working on the scoring part. I serve it, we play it out, I win the point. So now I have 1 point, which is 15. Now before you start, make sure that you're calling the score every single time. This is a big deal for kids because it's really easy for them to forget the score when they're playing these points. It's really easy for us to do it as adults. So make sure that we're calling the score. And the manner that you call the score is servers score first, then the returner score. So in that scenario, I won the first point. I am serving, so I would say 1-0 or 15 love. Okay, then we'll slide over. I'm now serving from here. You're going to return from up here, and we're going to play that point out. All right, so let's just say right now, we're going to say the score is 15 love. Okay, server, returner. Okay, so that's the score. So we slide over, we make our point. Let's not even put those there to confuse things. But we slide over, I serve it in, I win that point as well. So now I've got 2 points, you have 0 points. It is now what? 30 love. So 30 love. And again, I'm the server. I would say my score first. 30 is my score. Love is your score. As a returner, you would say the same thing. You would say, hey, what's the score? 30 love? That would be correct because server score is 30. Your score is love as the returner. And that's a big deal. It makes a big difference, right? I've got 2 points here. You have none. If for some reason I make a mistake and I call it love 30, well, now I've just taken you from 0 to 2 and I've taken me from 2 to 0. That's 4-point swing. That's a big deal. So it's really important, especially for our young players, that we're calling these scores properly. Server first, returner second. Okay, you win the next point. It is now 30-15. Right, so 30-15, let's say you win another point, it's 30-30. We can also call that 30-all. You win another point, that's 3 in a row for you, by the way. What's going on? What am I doing? I don't know, but it's 30-40 now, so it's 30 as the server, 40 as the returner. You win the next point, that is what? 30-50? 30? No, that's game, okay? Game, you won. Right, so that's it. So now you're up 1-0. So when we go back in, okay, we're going to start a new game. Remember, points to get games. So now you've got 1 game as my opponent. So now we got 1 for you, 0 for me. Okay, so you are over here, me here. You've got 1 game, I've got 0 games. I just served, so now it's your turn to serve. And remember, when we're playing, we swap ends of the court on every odd total number of games. So 1-0, how many is that? That's 1. That's an odd number, so we would change ends of the court. I know. There's a lot of stuff. That's why we're doing this. Watch this video a couple of times. It's tricky. Make sure you guys also get out there and practice it. We'll do that on Friday when we actually get out and play some scoring matches and use some of these kind of alternative scoring methods as well as the traditional scoring method. Anyway, all right, so you're now serving. It is what? 0-0, so that's love. Right? Okay, now remember, this, let's get rid of that because that doesn't matter, right? We don't want to confuse it and say, well, wait, which column is which one under? You've got 1, I've got 0. We can just remember that, okay? So we're serving, it's love. You serve it in, I win the first point. It is now love 15. You as the server now call your score first, so it's love for you, 15 for me. You win the next point, it's now, 15, which we also call 15 all. Okay, that's not very nice. Let's redo that. That looks a little better. Okay, then I win the next point. It is now what? Who's got what? I won it. You've got still, you've still got 15, and now I have 30. And again, 15 is how many points? That's 1. 30 is how many? 2. I know, it's weird. I don't understand why we do it that way. We just do. All right, so you win another point now. We serve it up. You win the point. It's now 30-30, which we can call what again? 30 all. I win the next point. It's 30 for you, still 40 for me, okay? And then let's say you win the next point, we get to 40-40. Okay, well, what we're going to do here is we're going to play something called no ad scoring. It's no advantage. So basically what's going to happen is the next point is going to win. This is kind of how it works when we're just starting, when we're working on how to play these points, how to score these points. There is something called deuce and advantage. We're not going to worry about that now. We'll worry about that in a different video. So for now, if you get to 40-40, it's the next point wins. There are some rules with that, but let's not bog down with that at this point. Next point wins. So you serve it up. You hit a fault. Okay. You get your second serve. Now you hit an ace? All right, cool. You hit an ace. Well, that means that you got the point, and now you have another game, and somehow you're beating me 2-0. Whoa. 2-0. Okay? So let's go back through this one more time. It's tricky. I know. That's why this video is really long, because it's important to do this. You've got to know how to score. So 0-0. It's 2-0 I just erased it, but it's 2-0. You're ahead. So I am serving. I'm going to come up to the line, and I'm going to say 0-2, love. Right? When you call the score, that's kind of an indication that, hey, it's time to go. We're ready to play this point. 0, 2, that's the number of games we each have. Love, love, that's the score in this particular game. Boom, I serve it up. I hit an ace. 15 love. Cool. It is now 15 love. Okay? Boom, I hit another ace. That's 2 in a row. I'm pretty good today. That's 30 love. I double fault. It happens. 2 aces, a double fault. It's not ideal, but it happens. So it's now 30, 15. Again, I'm serving, you're returning. I hit another, let's not say I hit an ace. Let's just say I win the point. So now it's 40, 15. Remember, I add a point, you do not. And then I win the final last point of this game. Well, I suppose it wouldn't be the last unless I did win it, but I win that next point, and now it's game. And I'm finally on the board. You still have 2. Now I've got 1. Okay, so that's it. That's basic scoring. 0, let me get rid of this. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Takes 4 points to win a game. Love, 15, 30, 40, game. Just like we got over here. 0 is love, 1 is 15, 2 is 30, 3 is 40, and the 4th point you win, that's game. Make sure that you're calling servers score first, returners score second, and make sure that you're announcing the score after every single point. So when you step up to the line ready to serve and start that point, the absolute first thing you have to do, especially if you're a junior player, is say the score. It's the easiest way for us to not worry about forgetting things, right? If you play 2 or 3 points and you forget you forget to say the score, wait, did you have 30? Did I have 50? What? Right? Make sure, again, call that score. Now, parents, I don't want you guys calling the score for the kids, okay? If they ask you, if you're on the court, that's fine. But your job, if you're on the court, is to be hands off. It's to let them play. It's to actually let them make mistakes, right? If they call the score wrong and maybe they lose the game because of that, let them. They have to learn these lessons, and not just because we tell them to. What you do is after the game, you go up and you say, hey, did you guys remember it was actually 15-40, but you called it 40-15 and won the next point, like, right, what I'm saying? So you kind of give it to them after the fact. Don't try to correct them every single time. 1, they're not going to learn, and 2, you're going to get bored because you're going to do it a lot. So let your kids make mistakes with the scoring and then talk either in between games or as they progress after a set or after a match. All right, that's it. That's scoring. Make sure you guys come back on Friday. We're going to give you some games and some kind of little mini games that you can play using this to help you practice these scoring methods. That's it, my friends. Keep it fun. Keep it simple. Get out there and play.